Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I promised Ateez that I will continue with the astrological series for Mars in the Signs for Ateez members because the other day I was doing Stray Kids and I mentioned Ateez thinking that I actually had done the series, the Mars series, and actually I was wrong. I didn't do it, so now I'm working on it. So actually, I was paying attention that they do have a lot of maybe because their age is similar, they do share some kind of planets in the same signs as Stray Kids. So probably what you heard in the Stray Kids as characteristics, it's very similar to what I'm going to be talking about in here about, but it's for IT's members. So as always, as I always mention, this particular series, especially when it comes to the planet of Mars, that is the planet of action, it's the planet of stamina, it's the planet of sexuality, it's a planet of our libido, our sexual needs and desires. So if obviously there are people that feel uncomfortable with talking about this subject when talking about their idols and this astrological aspect, that actually the way I explore it and the way that I interpret it, or the way that I talk about it, is always from a place of respect, and always at the same time is a general placement that we all have Mars in our birth charts. So it's not, I'm not like divulging any kind of secret, or like I'm not talking about any kind of taboo. Actually, we all have a sexual drive, and idols do too. So of course that I'm not going to be describing their their performance in this aspect, but I'm going to be mentioning and I'm going to be talking about sexual matters. So if you feel uncomfortable, or if you don't want to hear about this, you can always look for other places that probably do talk about the things that you do agree with. Like I always say, every time we click on a video and every time we decide to consume some kind of content, we are always choosing, we are always making a choice. So if you feel uncomfortable by this content, please don't watch it, and just let other people that are interested in knowing more about their idols, and that are also interested in astrology and learning about displacement, and also probably looking for their own, because astrology, it's a self knowledge. It's a very important and very meaningful tool if you want to get to know yourself in a deep manner. So I'm going to leave it here. So I'm going to start. As always, I placed the members' pictures, and I placed them in this order because some of them do have the Mars in the same sign, So I'm going to be talking about who these members are, and especially I placed them in order from the ones that probably have Mars in a sign that it's compatible with Mars energy, so that they feel comfortable with it. So I'm going to start talking and respecting this order. So we're going to start with Sang, not with Sun, with Sonwa. With Sonwa, that he is an Aries sun and his Mars is in Aries. So let's talk a bit what it's like to have a Mars in Aries and being an Aries. Um, of course, that we have to take into consideration that he also have like a heavy Cancer sign planet. So obviously he can have all these traits and all this energy actually really hidden inside himself, and probably you can be able to see this kind of passion and fire that Mars in Aries brings by watching him perform or by watching him doing some kind of competition or probably doing some kind of action like exercising or doing some kind of activity that requires a lot of movement. So, since Mars is the planet of action, actually Aries, it feels really comfortable, feels very at home when it is in Aries because Aries is ruled by Venus. So it's Mars. It's it feels really comfortable and really bold when it is in Aries because it gives the person um, the courage to go after what you want. You know, as I say, Mars is a planet of action, so is how is your style, how you go after what you want. And I think that in the case of someone, he definitely goes directly for what he wants or for what he desires. He's very straightforward. He feels really confident when he is achieving a goal or when he is directing his energy towards a goal. I think that for him is really important to use this energy because I know that we also have to take into consideration that since he has a lot of Mars, I mean, since he has a lot of Cancer, Cancer is a very intuitive and a very emotional sign. So probably there are moments where he wished he could be more fiery or more passionate, but actually, emotions also somehow make him feel a bit uncomfortable when it comes to embracing maybe this aspect of himself that is very strong and that actually can make him feel very impulsive, especially when he has uh, to be expressive or probably when he feels that he wants to be combative or when he feels that he has to somehow be bold and be brave and be aggressive. You know, Mars in Aries, it's a placement that definitely makes you feel a bit aggressive, a bit uh, like like you can tend to come in quick burst, you know, of fire, and and also you can be hot-blooded, you know, and very ready to conquer. So if you think about this as, for example, in a sexual way, or for example, how he how he goes after someone that he finds attractive, he probably is very confident and very competitive when it comes about that. And also at the same time, he can be, sorry, my cat, it's trying to break in. So he definitely has this very strong need and fire to be a conqueror. So definitely, if he feels attracted to someone, even though he can feel a bit shy about it and a bit uncomfortable, because I remember that his Venus is in Aquarius, so he can be a bit exotic and a bit unique when it comes to actually being romantic or actually expressing this romantic interest or this sexual interest in someone. But probably this Mars in Aries, what it does is that it brings passion to his action. It's like, is this inner fire that pushes him to action, because otherwise, if he would have to only depend on the Cancer placements that he has and this Venus in Aquarius, he would never dare to conquer anyone, or he would never dare to actually approach someone or to actually ask someone out, or probably being able to start a conversation with someone that he likes and that he's potentially interested in, because he has a lot of energy that makes him sometimes feel a bit awkward socially. So maybe this Mars in Aries, it's actually the fire that he really needs to compensate that lack of confidence in himself that sometimes he feels a bit um, out of place sometimes, because he tends to be really emotional. So it's very like he can go through um, these moments where he just is not sure that he actually he sometimes doubts himself. So maybe this Mars in Aries, when it comes to actually not being so much in your head and not being overthinking a lot or being like sensitive about it, just go and do and just do the action. Just just good get out there and do it. I think that also this Mars in Aries also allows him to be very honest with his desires, and also very blunt and very transparent about what he likes and what he doesn't like. Of course that he can be a bit intimidating, because since it is an energy that is very impulsive, he can sometimes experience extreme emotions. So for example, if he I don't know, if he approaches someone and that person doesn't like him back, he wouldn't feel very great about it, and he would probably, I mean, he wouldn't be aggressive towards the person, but he would probably like stop talking to that person, or actually cutting that person out of his life, because he doesn't handle well rejection, in the sense that you either want to be with him or you don't. So for him, it's all about deciding, and deciding in the moment. So if you are someone that you are not very sure about how you feel about him, whether you like him or not, he doesn't like to waste his time. This is very Aries energy. They don't like to waste his time. They don't like to waste anyone's time. So they are very frontal. They are very straightforward about whether they're going to tell you how they feel, or whether they are going to with actions, they're going to let you know that they are interested, and that they want to know right here and right now if you want to, if you agree, if you want to be with him or not. He doesn't want to, he doesn't like playing games. Actually, he can, since he has cancer placements, and since he also has this Venus in Aquarius, he would probably wouldn't mind to be talking on the phone or probably exchanging messages. But when it comes to meeting a person that he really likes face to face, he's very passionate and he's very straightforward. So he will definitely let his actions talk for himself, do the talking, because he is this part that is, I think that is the part that of himself that allows him to be spontaneous and to connect with his desires. And obviously he's very passionate, so maybe if the other person it's a bit shy or it's a bit insecure, probably this Sengwa's energy is not for you, because he would definitely wouldn't be patient to wait for you to make your mind. Besides, with him being an Aries and having Mars in Aries, obviously there's a lot of he is very in contact with who he is. So he knows himself a lot, he values himself a lot. So if he feels like there's some kind of hesitance in you, so that you are a bit hesitant, that you don't like him that way, or that you don't know what to do, he would probably just like decide that he doesn't actually want to even try, because he's not someone that likes to sit around and wait, or that it's able to actually play the mystery card, to be like, oh, this mysterious kind of person that he will be like, oh, trying to decipher whether you like him today or not, whether you will change your mind tomorrow or not. He's not the kind of person. He doesn't have the patience. He's a man of action. He's a man that if he is interested in you, he will definitely go after you. There's no like reading between the lines here. His energy, or at least his presence and his actions towards what he desires or whatever he wants to conquer and accomplish, he will just go and do it. He will just go to the goal and conquer it, because this is Mars in Aries for him. So this is actually his energy and how he uses it, how he represents it. So then we have the other three members, that it's Juno, San, and Mingi. The three of them have Mars in Scorpio. So definitely Scorpio is also a sign that feels really comfortable being in Mars, because it's partially ruled by Mars. Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto. So definitely, this is other kind of energy that also goes straight to the point. That they are very passionate, and that they definitely are people that definitely, with their approach and with their desire and the intensity that they perform when they are after achieving a goal or achieving some or conquering something, you will definitely see the passion and intensity in every move they make. This is why they are great performers, because they bring this intensity into a stage, and it's a different intensity, and it's a different passion from the passion that a Mars in Aries actually shows, because Mars in Aries, more about starting the action. It's more about the self, more about what I want, and I want it now, and I want to start the action right now, and I'm not thinking through a lot about actually why I do what I do. I just follow my instinct, and my instinct is very passionate. But when it is in Scorpio, of course, it is a very perseverating, uh, but at the same time, you do feel strongly and very, like in a very emotional way, and if you feel very strong inside of you. But at the same time, these emotions tend to be really complex. So you will definitely be able to achieve any goal that you set for yourself, because you will be very ambition and very ambitious, and at the same time you can also use manipulation to get it. This is why sometimes Mars in Scorpio people, they tend to look really they tend to look like they wouldn't hurt a fly. Like they really like you. Yes, you can sense that definitely they are very hardworking. They are always involved in some kind of action or process. They are very consistent, but at the same time, it always looks like they have this hidden agenda. Because Mars in Scorpio, it's also like this archetype of the warrior, but at the same time, it's a different warrior than the Aries archetype, because Scorpio is almost like this ninja force. Is the one that works in the shadows, is the one that takes his time to actually deliver like this master plan, and they are very secretive. So if they probably want to go after you, or they want to conquer you, or they want to seduce you, you will not see them coming, because they will be really like really secretive about it, and also very very mysterious. They will definitely have this element of mystery, where you probably are not able to actually sense their move. It's like, for example, they are, I don't know, across the room, and all of a sudden you turn around and they are behind you. And they definitely, their actions are very ninja based, because it's like they study you so well, because if they want to conquer you, they definitely study you very well. They watch you from afar. They are very detective like. So if they are interested in you, they are going to do like a background check on you before approaching you, because they don't want this also, they don't have patience, and in the sense that they want to make sure that you are really worthy of them putting all these efforts that they do when they want to uh, achieve something. So they definitely are determined. So if they want you, like I always say, if they want you, you will know it, and they will come after you. They tend to be, if we think about a sexual nature, they tend to be very magnetic, just like every Scorpio placement. It gives you magnetism. You can be a really intense lover, that you through sex you can like regenerate yourself, your inner power. And it's like sexuality is really important for you, because it's like every time you have like a sexual relationship, you some transform your own energy, you transform through that libido. That experience allows you to some go through some kind of rebirth. When it comes for you, it's not just about having sex with a random person because you have the need to do it. Actually, it's more about you connecting with the other person and having this profound connection. And yes, of course, that bodies are involved, but it also has to do with the connection of the soul. A Scorpio always looks for intensity, always looks for deepness. So, of course, that they definitely want to make sure that you are the person that can provide them that kind of thrill, that kind of intensity, that kind of connection. Because if they feel like you are probably very pretty, but you are very shallow, or that you don't have like you are not profound enough, they will probably like lose interest in you. They don't like shallow people, especially because Mars in Scorpio also, they tend to be very perceptive and very intuitive. So this is why they study or they observe you before actually approaching you. They observe you from afar, they observe your interactions with others, because it's like they want to know who you really are. They want to study you before deciding if you are really worth it of them actually coming to you. So they can definitely, this intuition also allows them to always, if they have some kind of enemy, of if they have some kind of rivalry with someone or competition, they are very, very good at winning, because they tend to study their opponent. They tend to study it very profoundly. So they definitely have a lot of power and will. And yes, and this Mars in Scorpio also adds a bit of an of obsessive like behavior in relationships, in the sense that they can be a bit like obsessive when it comes to their partners, probably wanting to know everything about their partner, even though they will, like I always say, Scorpio is very sensitive, so they will definitely not be like going around and being like, oh yes, I'm jealous, or yes, I'm obsessing over you. They will not let you know that they feel that way. So um and also what I wanted to say, because I'm seeing that Juno San and like I mentioned before, Mingi is here. And when I think about Mingi, you know that Mingi definitely is going through this situation with his mental health. I think that since his Mars is in Scorpio, I have the feeling that probably he will be able to overcome whatever he's going through in an emotional level that affects his mental health. So, or his mental state. So I think he will definitely be able to transform himself. I think that this this experience of distress that he's going through will not last forever, that he will be able to transform himself, because this is also something that Mars in Scorpio gives the person, is that gives them the ability to heal, also the will to overcome a lot of odds, a lot of obstacles that probably, yes, it has to do with their own nature, sometimes with their own emotional nature, because they tend to be really, like I said, sometimes a bit of obsessive. So sometimes being obsessive when you are very sensitive sometimes can get you into very dark places where sometimes you go too deep and you cannot, like, go back up and get out of that state. So I definitely feel that Mingi, I don't know when, but I feel the feeling that he will overcome this anxiety and this mental health issue that he had been going through for a while. So let's move on now to Wu Yang. Bujan is the one that has a Mars in Capricorn. So obviously Bujan, it's since he has a lot of Libra placement also, he looks like a softie. He's very loving. He's very romantic. He's very considerate to others. But also let's not forget that Libra energy is a cardinal sign and Capricorn is also a cardinal sign. So they definitely he has the leader vibe. And when you have a Mars in Capricorn, actually it means that you are very good when you have to work with when you have to achieve your goals, because you know how to save energy, you know how to save your energy and deliver it when the time is right. For example, when you want to achieve something that is really important and meaningful to you, because Capricorn energy, and especially when it is in Mars, the planet of action, tends to make the person very ambitious. So definitely there's a lot of ambition in his actions, and at the same time that even though he is very emotional and very loving, when it comes for him to actually go after what he wants, in order to get this, he can be able to control all this emotional world or himself and actually become really rational and really cold, that this could actually, like, scare a few people, like, actually not scare but actually surprise a few people, because he looks so, I mean, he has this very loving nature. So when this Mars in Capricorn activates in him, it's like it's really surprising, it's like, wow, I didn't know you were this committed or you were this serious about it, because that Capricorn energy, it's all about hard work and it's all about ambition, and sometimes it's all about having this, like, serious facade, that they definitely have this serious energy when they really are committed to achieve something. So if it is in order for him to achieve his goals, he will definitely become more in control of his own emotional natures, so that emotions don't get in the way of his decision making. Um, he's not going to be aggressive, but he's going to be very unforgiving, in the sense that he will be a bit merciless also, in the sense that he will go straight to what he wants to accomplish, and he will only look at the path ahead of him. He will not look at the sides, which is very add, because of this Libra energy that he has, that his Libra energy is all about contemplating and thinking about the other part. But I think that when it comes to actually achieving, especially because Mars is Capricorn, it's very goal oriented, but it also focuses more in career or, for example, goals that are related to profession. So probably if we think about his profession, that it's that he's an idol and that he has to perform and that they also participate into a lot of competitions, so he will definitely, we will get to see that Mars in Capricorn of him playing. But the good thing about being a Mars in Capricorn is that also makes him a very dependable person, very supportive lover. In a sense, like I always say, Capricorn nature, it's like you being a rock for other people's. Maybe you are not the most like affectionate when it comes to showing your emotions, especially when you are trying to seduce someone or conquer someone, but actually you will be very dependable and supportive. So your partner will always have this feeling that you are always there next to them, and that you are like that kind of rock that no matter the odds and no matter what happens, you will always be standing there next to them. And somehow this is very attractive because actually not a lot of people are dependable. There are a lot of energies, especially immutable signs that are all about change and are all about variety and exploring options. Sometimes when you find this Mars in Capricorn person that is very stable, that is a bit stubborn, yes, but they are so committed, determined, and that they are very practical, a bit too traditional, but don't let yourself get discouraged for this apparent coldness in relationships, or when he could become a bit reserved when it comes to actually showing his true nature. But Mars in Capricorn, actually, if we think about a sexual kind of a style or of a sexual nature, he could definitely be a lover that is very consistent. So definitely he would think about his partner's pleasure, and at the same time he would be very dedicated to actually make be passionate enough in order to pleasure their partner. So definitely, he's not. You're not going to be bored with him, despite of this very reserved nature that it's when you have a Mars in Capricorn. But he will definitely work really hard to be to have like an outstanding performance when it comes to his sexuality. So don't worry that the fire is there. It's hidden, but it's there and it's very consistent. So let's move on to the other, the less members that actually share this. Actually, it's not the list member because now that I'm seeing, I'm counting, and I'm counting like the members, and I'm like seeing that I think I missed one. I think I missed one member. I think I Yes, I think I missed one member. I think I missed Josang, but Josang actually I know that he is a Venus in Libra because I'm looking at the pictures and I'm like, oh, I'm like, there's someone here that is missing. Like, what's going on? Because it's like I placed Mingi and I forgot about Josang. Poor boy. I feel so bad for Josang. Okay, Venus is in Leo, his Mars is in Libra. So even though his picture is not here, I'm not going to forget about poor Josang. I'm going to talk about Mars in Libra. So if we think about a Mars in Libra, Mars in Libra, it's one of these signs that probably, yes, I had probably placed him on the left as the last member, or near the other two that have Mars in Virgo, because Mars in Libra, he doesn't feel really comfortable with being in Mars, because Mars is a planet of warrior. it's a planet of action. It's a planet of sometimes it's a planet of war. So Libra is very diplomatic. It's very compromising, and it can feel that energy can feel a bit awkward because they tend to be really considerate of others. So they try to avoid conflict the best way possible. So probably for Joseon, actually for him, he may not be really comfortable with actually getting into an argument or being acting too passionate or maybe too aggressive. There's something about him that he definitely feels like he should try to be in control and trying to be like very neutral and not let his emotions get in the way, or actually not be too much, not just keep this balance, because Libra energy is all about balance, and it's also about being aesthetically beautiful. So he would definitely wouldn't want to act in a reckless way. So yes, but yes, maybe the downside of being a Mars in Libra is that they tend to avoid conflict actually, and sometimes they deny that they have a strong emotions when they start to feel sometimes a bit negative, because actually they feel really good when they are charming and persuasive. So I think that if you have asked me how do they go after what they want, or how do they achieve their goals, I would say they would achieve it with this attitude of being really charming and persuasive. I would see them like using their personal charms or their charisma to actually get what they want in a very pleasant way. I think that also for Libra, it's very important to maintain appearances and to maintain good relationships with people. So definitely, they do not want to like come too strong or probably argue with people or actually being very combative. It's not something that they feel comfortable, because it's not in their nature. Actually, sometimes they do achieve their goals through networking because they are really good at meeting new people and at engaging into interesting conversations with people, because they are very polite, they are very like diplomats, they are very respectful, so they are very nice to actually interact with them. So probably if they would want to achieve something, they would probably do it with a lot of charm and a lot of charisma, and they would create great relationships and connections that can allow them to climb a higher status, or to go after what they want, but always remaining really peaceful and really with good manners, and to have other people's considerations. They want to give the best image possible. They are very Mars in Libra is very romantic and is very refined. So if you ask me how he would like seduce or go after someone that he feels attracted to, or someone that he likes, actually he would also use this charm, and he would be very romantic and also very refined, a total gentleman, being very affectionate, but always in a very not, I wouldn't say they are sexual. I would say that their energy is more like sensual. It's more about being alluring. It's more about maybe looking good, or attracting, or that the other person finds them attractive or finds them beautiful, more than being like, oh, this very raw sexual energy. Um, and and also a way that they could also go of to seduce someone that they are interested in is to be loving, to show their love, because Libra is ruled by Venus. So definitely they are very loving, and they love to compliment their partners in every way. So they can sometimes be a bit lazy when it comes to relationships, but when they are starting, when, for example, you are in this process where you want to conquer that person, you definitely pull out all your best features and, your best attributes in order for that person actually to like you. And the kind of sexuality that you express is a sexuality that is very amorous, that it's very loving, it's very romantic, it's very sweet, it's very um it's very like aesthetic. I don't know why, but I feel like it is this kind of person that takes really beautiful pictures of their partners, and or they want to look good in the camera, and they take these beautiful pictures and they're sharing with the world. They are very aesthetic people, and also they know that they are very charming, so they definitely, you don't have to like like probably think that they don't get anything because they are very loving and diplomat. Actually, their charming energy and their charming ambition, it gets them really far when it comes to getting favor from others, and when it comes to actually getting what they want. They definitely do it in a very refined way, but they definitely get what they want. They go after it, they get what they want because they are very friendly, and sometimes they also are very graceful, so there's something that attracts the other side, and actually they end up getting what they want from that person or that situation. So now, yes, finally, let's move on to Mars in Virgo. That is what Honjung and Jongho has. They both share displacements. Their Mars is in Virgo and their Venus is in Scorpio. So they have this Venus Mars. It's in the same planets. So let's talk a bit about. I place them in the last place because actually Mars doesn't feel very comfortable being in Virgo, because Virgo is also an energy that that actually is not very decisive when it comes to actually being very action orientated, in the sense that they would probably like take a lot of time to plan ahead what they want to accomplish. They definitely are goal orientated and they are really good at multitasking, but they eventually get things done, but they're not very passionate like the first signs that I talked in the beginning. So because sometimes they appear to be a bit scattered and critical when they start feeling under a lot of pressure or stress. So definitely Virgo and Mars makes them feel sometimes a bit uncomfortable when they are under pressure, because they want to give their best. They're always thinking about doing their best, so they are very critical on themselves. They're very tough on themselves. So they are not aggressive, actually. They don't have this aggressive nature, but they have this way that they are very connected to systems. They do have this kind of routines or this kind of systems of plans that they actually pull off, and it goes really well with their style. It's like they have these systems about how they are going to go after what they want and achieve what they want. So even though it takes a lot of meticulous thinking and a lot of planning, they eventually get things done, and they eventually get what they want. um, they do get nervous easily. So for example, they they have this like kind of, they exude a kind of restless energy. Sometimes they, like, it seems that they're always nervous. This is why Virgo energy tend to do sometimes to people, that it gives them this nature, this nervous nature. Sometimes it's very hard for them to actually be spontaneous about going after what they want, especially if it is maybe approaching someone they feel attracted to, or someone that they like. I wouldn't expect them to act right away accordingly to how they feel or what that person makes them feel, even though they do have Venus in Scorpio, which can add a bit of passion and a bit of emotion to their desires. At the same time, I see them like being really cautious about every step that they decide, if they decide that they want to get closer to someone. So, like I always say with this Mars in Virgo, if you are interested in someone that has Mars in Virgo, I would advise you actually, for you to actually take the first step, take the lead, make the first move, because if you have to wait for them, you will probably wait for a long time. And because they sometimes concentrate so much in the details, and they just concentrate so much in planning everything, that they forget that sometimes being spontaneous is better, that sometimes you have to be risky, especially when we're talking about the planet of action. It's all about you actually getting out there and getting things done, and actually going after what you desire. If it is what you desire, what are you afraid of? And Virgo, they tend to be a bit obsessive, and they get too sensitive when it comes to their, they tend to get a lot of obsessive thinking or a lot of overthinking. So maybe they could feel potentially very insecure about their performance, or about their appearance, or about the way they show themselves. So there's a lot of insecurity here. There's a lot of, almost there's like a paranoid kind of behavior. So you definitely need to help these people that have Virgo in Mars, and somehow, if you can make it easier for them, it would be very much appreciated, in the sense that if you could somehow let them know that they have a chance, that it is safe for them to take a chance with you, or to risk it all for you, I think that this would actually make them feel a bit more secure about approaching you. So at the same times, when you are in a relationship with them, it's really fun actually, because they're really good companions, and they're really funny actually, because they may not be the most emotional signs, but they are really loyal as partners, in the sense that they like to learn and try new things for experience, especially when it comes to sexual experience. They may not be the most experienced, and they may feel a bit like too self-conscious about it. But actually, if you treat them with respect, and if you actually like allow them, or just start this loving relationship where they feel safe to, and where they feel like they can trust you, they are very perfectionist. So they will definitely make sure, if we are talking about a sexual nature here, they will definitely make sure to get the job done. If you know what I mean, they will definitely be very very like into the task, very hardworking, very determined to make things right. So they are not probably the most confident, but they definitely have a lot of willpower, and even though they sometimes second guess a lot of things, sometimes maybe they would also have this, like I said, this kind of paranoia where they would actually wonder every now and then, how come they got you, or how come they conquer you, or why are you with them, what do you find attractive about them, something like that. But it's because they definitely have like this kind of insecurity in the back of their head. Virgo energy is a bit uncomfortable. Oh, I have seen it. I have seen this, not so much people that are Virgo suns, but I've seen it more in Virgo Mars, Virgo Venus, and Virgo moons. They tend to struggle a lot with actually feeling confident when it comes to, especially when it comes to relationships, and when it comes to exposing how they feel, or exposing their desires, or exposing their intentions. They definitely fear rejection a lot, and it's like they are so self-aware that they are like, they know that they have this kind of awkwardness nature to them, so they know that this is not very attractive, or that actually they could pretend like they are very secure, and actually uh, just pretending makes them feel really anxious, so they're not really good at it. So probably, like I said, they would definitely need and be really compatible with someone that can be probably a bit more like the one that can actually make the first move, or someone that is more confident, or probably someone that is also more loving and accepting, that can somehow break the ice, and break the awkwardness of the first encounter, and actually like give them clear signs that actually they have a chance with you, because I think that it would be really, I think that they fear the most is rejection. I think that what they fear the most is actually being like, oh, I wasted all my time and all these sleepless nights thinking about a plan about how to approach this person. And then it turns out that this person is not interested in me. So this would be like their ultimate nightmare, because and trust me that they do think about it, even though probably it never happened, but they do fear it, so it's in their unconscious. So this is all I have for Ateez members. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a like. And if you I have other videos about Ateez members in astrology, and also if you have other fellow 18s that would like to hear this kind of interpretation, and also are interested in astrology and tarot, you can share this with them. So I would really appreciate it if you do. So thank you so much for being here, guys, and for always commenting and giving me recommendations. I really learn a lot from this experience, and I love reading for the boys. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.